that right there, all those grooves, that's what a dull cutter will do. It'll just start to circle the pipe instead of cutting into the pipe. Now at the top of the video, I talked about these cutting wheels going really dull on your tubing cutters, and well, what can you do, right? Well, check this out. There is a hack that I'm going to show you at the back end of the video to get this cutting wheel razor sharp. But in the first part of the video, I'm going to show you a conventional way to change the cutting wheel. So let's just jump into it. Now I'll tell you, these tubing cutters, they can be expensive, but sometimes they get dull. That little cutting wheel there, it goes dull, and then you can't cut the pipe at all. In fact, it just spirals on you. But here's the thing, you can replace the cutting wheel in these tubing cutters. A lot of people don't realize that you can do that. They just toss the thing away. And with as expensive as tools are today, folks, it just makes sense to replace what you can instead of buying new. Now sometimes you just gotta poke it through. I just took a little Allen wrench and poked the screw through the back. And now I can take this Allen wrench and I'm gonna pry out the wheel here, because it doesn't want to just fall out on its own. There we go. Now it's time to replace it. Now you can buy these replacement wheels at any hardware store or big box store. Now I want you to keep in mind that these tubing cutting wheels, they're not universal. You have to purchase the correct tubing cutter wheel that's made specifically for your tool. All right, we've got our replacement wheel here. We're just going to slide it into place. There we go. Once we got it in a good position, take our bolt there and insert it. Now we just need to start threading it in. It's going to get to a certain point where we're going to put that screwdriver head on it. Now we just tighten up that bolt or that screw there. Get it nice and tight. There we go. Hey, we're ready to cut some copper. Now that we've replaced our cutting wheel, let me show you how this will cut. So that's our bad section of pipe right there. Now let's just cut a piece. Pretty nice. Can I get your ear just for a second? I want to tell you, I don't know if you know this or not, but Seejanedrill created a Dreamhouse course. It's a master class. And I gotta tell you this right off the bat. It's gonna save you a boatload of money. It's gonna sharpen your DIY skills. In fact, when your family comes over to the house, they're gonna look around and they're gonna say, who was the contractor? It's beautiful. And you're going to be able to say, it was me. So I want you to go in the description below and check out the master class. And I want you to think about taking the course. Now this tubing cutter here, the wheel is also dull, but I couldn't find a new wheel for it, and I don't want to throw this away because it's perfectly fine. So in an instance like this, what you want to do is you want to pull the wheel out, and believe it or not, you can sharpen it on a leather strop, kind of like what a barber uses to sharpen a straight razor. We're going to do the same thing with this cutting wheel. Now this right here, this is a leather strop. I've got it clamped down so it's secure. Now I've taken the cutting wheel from the tubing cutter and I've secured it in a pair of needle nose pliers that really clamp down on it. Now I want to say this because this is fair to mention. You don't want to try to sharpen a cutting wheel that's too far gone. Like if it's got deep notches in it, you really can forget about it. You want to get it before it gets to that point. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to do something called charging the leather. This is a compound, and you got to think of it as like waxy sandpaper because it comes in different grits. This is a more aggressive grit. And then we're going to follow it up with an all-purpose compound. That's what this is. But first, let's charge our leather with something a little more aggressive. So we're going to charge it. And charge it just means that I'm embedding it in the leather. Okay, so I've got that nicely charged. Now I'm gonna take my wheel and I'm just gonna draw it across. Now flip it over and do the other side. And then rotate the wheel. And continue to repeat the process. Now I've got a nice edge going, but now I just want to polish it up a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean my strop off a little bit, and then I'll use all-purpose compound. And that really should do it. Now I've cleaned the strop off, now I'm going to charge it again, but this time I'm going to use an all-purpose compound. All right, now I'm just going to repeat the process, and we should be good to go. I want you to check this out. I nicked myself, okay? That just shows you how sharp you can get it by using just a leather strop. Now I've got my wheel nicely sharpened and polished. All right, let's put our wheel back in. There we go. Let's see if we can line this up. And once I get that threaded in there pretty well, I'll just go ahead and put a screwdriver on it and tighten it up. Tighten it up really good. There we go. Now that our wheel is installed, let's try it out on a piece of copper. Okay, let's cut a little tubing. Folks, it's doing very, very nicely. Just like a barber uses a leather strop to sharpen a straight razor, that's what we did with this cutting wheel. This is Leah saying, you can do this. See you next time.